What's up, guys? Chasing Lane here with episode 111 of The Journey. And in today's episode, well, we have got a new adventure. I've been teasing for a while that we've been applying for jobs, and I was looking outside of Europe, and we got a new job. It's not outside of Europe. In fact, it's not even outside of England. We have, though, landed on our feet because we're managing, or about to take over, the former champions of England, a former Premier League winning side. So, like, subscribe, ring the bell. I'll see you after the intro. And let's go meet our new team and our new squad. So here we are then, ready to take the contract at our new home at Blackburn Rovers, the champions of England, of course, in 1995. And, they're offering us 10 times what we make now at Wealdstone to do the job. A 22 million wage budget, but we do have to sell some players before we can buy some, which is fine because, it's October, so it's actually Halloween. It doesn't make any difference. But they want us to develop players in the club's youth system, which I'm fine with, well within the wage budget, grow the reputation, and minimise the contracts, I guess, for over 30 players. They want us to avoid relegation. They currently sit 23rd in the Championship, but be competitive in the Cups, which is fine. We can pull that off. So let's start some negotiations. I am honestly okay with all of that. See if we can get another year. I don't think they'll give it to us, but that's fine. I'll take that because it's good money. I think we can survive quite healthily on £273,000 a year. And if we click forwards, that should let us get into the meeting of the new club properly, which is nice. So here we are then, ready to go in the dressing room, a move which is sure to spark plenty of heated debate. Chasing Langley has left Wealdstone to join Blackburn. I don't know why there'd be heated debate. There's no rivalry there, but that's life. Goes for, of course, our achievements so far. We won the Belgian First National Amateur Division with Young Reds in 2024. And we've now got a chance to enhance our reputation by bringing success here. Langley will face pressure to bring immediate success to Eagle Park, having stepped up from a previous standing to take sole charge. And I don't know why I'm saying stepped up from a previous standing. It's not like we were assistant manager, but we'll need to hit the ground running to win over those who believe that the appointment is a questionable decision. Jamie Carr was considered to be the favourite for the job. I have no idea who Jamie Carr is. But we've got the job. We're 23rd in the Championship. We've lost 3 of our last 5 games in the league. And wants to reiterate that apparently. So that's always fun. So let's look at what we're inheriting in terms of history here. Of course, I mentioned they have won the Premier League. It won't tell us a list of them, I don't think. There you go, 1995 the last time, but also in the 1910s for a couple of titles. So a 3-time champion, 6 FA Cups, most recent being in 1928. We've won the Championship in 1939, the League Cup in 2002, won League One in 1975, the Community Shield in 1912, and the Full Members Cup in 1987, which I think was a precursor to the FA Trophy or Vase, I think. I can't remember. Either way, our main rivals, of course, are Burnley, and we'll overhaul most of the coaching staff, to be honest, because honestly, it's probably not that good if this club's in this position. So, let's see what's occurring. They think our best 11 is a 4-4-2 diamond. Of course, we've got one of those in the options box from our time at Young Reds, but I'm going to have we're not going to play a game today, I should point out. We're not going to play a game today. I'm going to just introduce everyone and have a look through the squad, see what we're inheriting, because I really want to kind of properly build a tactic for the club's strengths. I had a look through the stats book. I'm not going to go on stream on the episode because it'll take forever to go through all the stats. But I did go through the stats, and there are some things here that are positive. We've got 3 attackers who seem to be getting in the right position a lot, but they're not completing their XG way higher than they. We've got 1 striker. I think it's this guy, Looney. He's got an expected goals of something like 4 or something so far this season and hasn't scored. It's mental. But yeah, and Harry Pickering, the left back, seems to be the big. I think he was top or second in the charts for progressive passes and for expected assists. So obviously there's some disconnect there we need to fix. We'll work on it though and get that right. So what we're expected to do, of course, it is develop the youth system, as we said before, work in the wage budget, We're going to try and grow the club's reputation and then minimise contracts and just avoid relegation is essentially the big plan here, which we'll try and do. And be competitive against Burnley if we happen to play them, which of course we want to be competitive against everyone, so that's not extra spice. And we'll do a press conference on camera because, Jesus, I really hope if FM25 ever appears, it might have already appeared by the time you see this episode, given how far ahead I'm recording. But yeah, I hope this fixed press conference is just something a bit more interesting. So that is the update. We'll play into our expectations for next season. There's no way it's doing that for next season. We're too early. Dale Bipont is a guy I was looking at in the stats. He seems to be one of the guys who has a lot of expected goals. Now, this is the guy. 3.93 expected goals so far this season and 0 goals tells me he's in the right positions and he's not finishing, which is explained by the fact that his finishing is poor. But maybe we can find a way to work a system where he can do something. I assume he can do something back here, maybe it's not a particularly good play. I don't understand what this guy's good at. Like, he's got a 3-star player, a good League One player, but I don't see, looking through this, any situation in which, because as a winger he can't cross. As an inside forward, his finishing's not really good enough to be worth getting there, even if his composure's good. As a playmaker, he's got no vision, and his passing's a bit rubbish. And he wants him to play as an advanced forward, but his finishing, again, isn't good enough for that role. So I don't know. His anticipation's not good enough to be an advanced forward. I don't know what's going on here. We'll figure it out. I will work out a tactical thing at some stage before, obviously, the next episode. But part of the benefit of recording ahead is I've got probably 2-3 weeks where I can really think this through in real life before I record that episode. So I'm going to be very busy under the hood. Our expectations. It wants me to tweak this, but I mean, it doesn't get us any extra budget at all. We're over our wage budget too. So even if we were to say, oh, we'll get a mid-table finish and get to the 4th round of the FA Cup, realistically, it's not worth it. So I'm just going to have to figure out what's going on before our first game and then figure out what we're doing with our squad ahead of January, because I'm probably going to be doing some stuff also on racial friendlies ahead of the AFCON just to get the players together. Right, let's start with the squad since we're here. So, according to our system manager, our best player is this guy, Luis Ursua. He is Chilean and a loanee from AC Milan. I always forget what the new name is. Casciabit, AC Milan. He's a central midfielder, a ball winner, which, yeah, I can sort of see that. But that pace, I've got to find a way to use this pace because 17 pace is beastly. It says he can play as a wing back, which might be an option. I don't know if there's anything in the contract saying he has to play in particular, has to play as a box to box. Let's see how he looks as a box to box. Let's select that, shall we? And I don't see it. I mean, his dribbling and finishing isn't really good enough to do that. I don't think we get the best out of him in a box to box, but we'll do our best with him. We'll try and make something happen from him because we've got no choice. He's played 7 times. I only scored 1 goal this season, which is, I guess, a kind of tale of the season. Second most favorite, this guy, Moise Nordin, an Argentine/Spaniard, that we actually signed from Brentford, which should be a sign of quality. Former under-20 international for Argentina as well. Centre half, he's a ball player apparently, and I can see that. Are we developing his weakened foot? Because if we're not, we will be, because I don't want him just to be a one-footed defender. No benefit in that. He can play out wide. He's lacking pace, which, you know, we'll figure that out. We'll work that out. But we've got him now. We've got Sebastiano Esposito, one of the famous Esposito brothers, who are with, I think they're with Solid Inter Milan as the season starts. We've got Salvatore there. We've got, I think there's another Esposito out there somewhere. He might have already retired at this stage in the save. We'll figure it out. But yeah, he's been with Blackburn now for 5 years, having joined on free when he was released by Inter Milan after a loan at Bari. He's been fairly consistent. He has scored goals last season, which is something to be keeping an eye on. Currently injured for 8 days to 3 weeks, which is possibly a thing we need to keep an eye on. Does he have a big injury history? Let's see where he's at with those. Yes, but nothing major for a few years. So maybe he'll be fine. We'll work it out. We'll work out how that's going to go. Let's go back into his profile just to see what's going on with him in terms of tactical things. Apparently best as an attacking midfielder, which I'm okay with. Looks like he can finish as well, though, so we'll work that out, try and work out how we get best at it. As I said, I need to do tactics because I don't really understand how this team's playing. Obviously, I've not been paying attention to them, and we just have to figure out who does what best. Lewis Cam is another loanee. He's an Englishman from Leeds, which is nice. He should be fairly good at 22. As a Leeds youngster, you're usually getting quality. Apparently, he is best as a deep line playmaker, either deep or in the centre. And we've agreed to play. We've got two loanees we've agreed to play as box to boxes. That's a tactical masterclass waiting to happen because I've never made two box to boxes work before. So this could be interesting tactically. Especially because they're two of our best players. They've got to play together somehow. I'll figure it out. But let's see how he looks as a box to box. What's going for him? Worst position. And again, he can't finish. So that's going to be a challenge. I love a tactical. I've not done a full tactical challenge in a while. But Danny Kipo, who is Spanish and on an ESC contract, so he needs to be playing and hasn't really been 10 appearances off the bench of his 11. He's been with the club for a few years, so should be on an ESC contract at this stage. He should be fully work permitted by now. That's interesting. He is a left winger by trade. I assume that's his best position. I'll have a little click through, but I assume since it's selected as his best role, it is. He's apparently a winger, but a left winger, but he's right-footed and he can't do inside forward. I'm starting to see where the issue lies, as there's no one here who's a great finisher that we found so far, and I think that's why we're not getting the goals. And that's going to be something we have to really address because I looked at I'll show you the tables and stuff in a second, but we should be higher up the table. I've got Leo Wallstedt in goal, who is here from the start of the save, I believe. Yeah, he wasn't already here. It was odd. And he's been signed for 850k, 30-year-old, 2 caps for Sweden as well, which I'd be interested to know if he won there before the save started. Does it say down here? It usually does. No, it would have been before he got here. Okay. Yeah, he's a decent-ish goalkeeper. His stats have been okay. I mean, 18 conceded, 13 at the bottom of the table tells me he's fairly good and seems to be decent with the ball at his feet, which is nice. So we've got a sweeper keeper. Again, I know he's 30. We'll work on his weaker foot because if I'm going to have a sweeper keeper, I want to be able to use both feet, at least fairly competently. Actually, doesn't look too bad. Might be a good goalkeeper for us. So at least there's that small blessing to build on. We've got Tyrese Dolan here, a winger/striker, who again is best at left wing. Lots of doubling up the best players in the squad at one position. Again, a left winger that can't use his left foot isn't much use to me, and his pace isn't very good for a winger. I'll be honest, I'd like him to be quicker. He seems to have been here for 10 years, so that'll be hard to deal with. That's anything in the contract there that's going to bother me. We are going to get that weaker foot sorted though, whilst I'm seeing it, because I've got Fog of War on, so after remasking as helpful. So I've not been able to look at these players before I got here, and that's been a real concern. I'm noticing a lot of these players are over 30 or 30 or above as well. That's a concern. John Buckley seems to be an all-purpose midfielder who is best as a playmaker, which interesting. So not playmaking. At least he's got some vision. We can do something with him. Previously of Sheffield Wednesday, he's been with Blackburn for 15 years already, which is very, very interesting. Lots of players, I guess, who've been above average number of players who've been in for a while. Given how you all know I like to turn a squad over, I can't promise he'll still be here in February, but it looks like he's decent and actually good at some things. So he could be very important for us. I might have to build around him as a playmaker. We'll see how that goes. Joe Rankin Costello is another guy who has been appearing in a lot of the stat books. Currently, unfortunately, injured for 5 to 7. Another place, been there for 16 years. So, yeah, we've got some really established chemistry here, which should be nice, as long as the dynamics, which we'll look at in a second, aren't a complete mess. And a complete wingback, which is dirty, because I love a complete wingback. Shame he's got no pace, but I suppose at 30, that's sort of to be expected as well. He's probably had a couple of drops in his pace. But let me see his development report. I won't, because I've not been here long enough to see it. But there we go, that's fine. We've got Mahmoud Saba, another midfielder. An attacking midfielder. This squad's so attacking midfield happy. He's an Egyptian international. At least has some vision, some passing, a little bit of something. And one-footed player again. Stop with me one-footed players. I can see why this team is struggling. I really can. It's because they've spent a lot of their budget in attacking positions for the most part, and a lot of these players, I'd argue, are completely unnecessary in the squad. So I can see why they're in the situation they're in. The budget's been really badly spent, and I might have to move some of these long-standing players on, but just to free up budget. Risa Benli is a Turkish right winger who has no pace and isn't a good enough finisher to be playing as a striker or a good. I mean, that's it's just a bad signing. I guess he's okay for Championship level, but I need have to improve massively to get the Premier League standard. I'll be honest, he could excite the crowd. He hasn't scored any goals yet. His XG is pretty terrible, but he's dribbling fairly often, so that's okay. Okay, I guess. Again, it's a case of I have to figure out how I fit these guys into a team because I'm not inspired by how this. I mean, if we look at without going on to any further players, we look at these players. What's up? The top 11 players. So the top 11 players in the squad, realistically, should be our first 11. And of those, I've got one centre half, I've got one right back, and I've got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacking midfielders. Okay, some of them can play a striker. I've got 5 attacking midfielders. I've got 3, 4 central midfielders, and a right. Yeah, it's just the balance of this squad is horrible. It's genuinely horrible. I don't know how they've got here. Next up is a centre half who is Portuguese and Brazilian called Jack Joan. Apparently, only one of them. Centre half with a little bit of pace, and that's fine. And nothing technically. This guy's got off. He's a no nonsense centre back because he offers nothing technically for this level, which is a problem. He's on loan and expected to develop, but again, we're carrying some dead wood here. It's going to be such a rebuild. Dial Vipond is the English under-21 international striker. He's got pace, and I can make that work, but he can't finish, as I said before. So, real question marks, what am I going to do for him? He's got shoots from distance as a player pro. We're going to cancel that rapidly because he's got 7 long shots. Oh, in fact, it was I made a mistake there because that's I need to fix that. I'll figure out. We'll get a little cut here while I figure out. I think restrict the number of long shots. Let's get rid of that because yeah, he shouldn't be trying that at all. Not a thing he can do. James Baxter is another centre half. Good, we've got 2 centre halves in the squad, or 3 centre halves in the squad with pace but no left foot. Okay, let's fix that before I look at anything else because he's got pace but no left foot. I'm gonna off camera go through every player's training and I'm gonna do everything in my power to try and get every player's individual training tweak, get them into a formation, a tactic that works. Because I've got at least 2 months with this squad, and I've got to try and turn it around a little bit. And that just means trying to figure out what everyone's strengths are and how we improve the players with what we've got. Because you can't head the ball. He's a centre half who can't head the ball. That's just, it's not going to fly. Is he better at right back? Not really. You've got a question. I don't know who the previous manager is, but they were not good at the squad building. Matan Hefner, can play everywhere. Or Hefner, sorry, can play everywhere at the back. Primarily a right back, up the right side as well. Has a little bit of pace, can tackle, and can head, which tells me I would be better off having him as a centre half, which could be an option. I could go with 3 at the back. I could go with 5 in midfield. I could do any combination of things with the squad. Largely because there's no one standing at any particular position. He is an Israeli international on loan from Leeds. Yeah, I could do something with this squad. As I said, I need to really sit and think about every player in this squad and how they fit in. Matteo Aluni, another loanee who's on this one. I think we talked about him briefly before. He has 2 goals in 6 starts and an XG of 2, so he's on target. If we can get this guy playing up top and get him service, he should be able to score just not a season of a left foot either. Unacceptable to not be at least passingly 2-footed at this level. Pace is suspect, but he's a big target man, which again is maybe telling me play him as a target man, play 3 off him, and let him be the nuisance. That might be a possibility. He is good in the air, so that is a possibility for him. We've got Jake Garrett here, who's a centre half and a central defensive midfielder, and he's actually not good at centre half. He's good. He'd be good at a good half back though, because he can do everything. If we've got half back on here, he can do everything except head the ball, which is a potential. Lots of aggression in this side. We're going to pick up a lot of cards, which is a problem. But he's wanted as well. We could sell him on for some cash, but again, another player. He's been here for 11 seasons. He's had a couple of loans. He's had 11 seasons here. So another established player of the club. Harry Pickering is the player that we've been told to watch out for. He's got no right foot. Why? I know you're a left back, son, but come on. He can play as a centre half, but he's been producing from left back, which I can see how that's happening. Especially if you're playing as an inverted wing back. I can see how that's happening because he's good at passing the ball. His technique is decent. His vision isn't terrible. I can see how he would be a guy who's creative stuff. He can even cross a ball. I can see why he's one of our better creators. He will be a starter for us. Dominic Thiam also appeared in the top of the pops chart because of his tackling percentages, clearance. I think he's also had a few interceptions in his stats, which is nice. And it is arguably one of our better centre halves, but doesn't have any pace. So that's a problem that we can look at solving. Yeah, it's going to be a big one. It's a big old bill. Priority number 1 is avoid relegation, and then we'll figure out how we turn this team over. We've got another striker in Hayden Winslade, part of that lovely millennial frame of having weirdly spelled names. But Hayden Winslade is a 19-year-old attacking player, primarily apparently a deep line playmaker, but can play as a deep line forward. He can play as a playmaker and has decent vision. If I can make something of that, that'll be interesting. Possibly in a 2, given that he's got the finishing ability to make it. He's not quick, but he's got the finishing ability to make a nuisance of himself. So there are options here. We're starting to see options. Patrick Farkas is a Hungarian international, 22. Only playing off the bench. I can see why, but because that versatility. Again, a playmaker with some decent plays a regista. That's a little bit filthy. Although I say that he's got no long shots, but it's a little bit filthy what we're working with him. I might try and force him into the side and see if he develops, because there's enough there. You can see a player in it. You can see a player in him. He's not going to be a Premier League player. You can see a really good Championship player. He has been here now for 8 years and played fairly often. But yeah, you question whether or not he needs to develop this season or get out. And if there's money, that's gone quick. Develop, there's either money in there or a player in there. I'm not sure which. Luis Palma is a Honduran international, 29, at the club now for 2 years, having been signed from Celtic. I wouldn't say he was special, but he's a player. I feel like we looked at these guys before at some stage. On my brain, I don't know if I'm just having deja vu, but I feel like this is a thing we looked at before at some stage. I don't know why. I feel like I've seen this player before. Great with long shots, though, for an attacking midfielder and a free kick taker. Alrighty then. We're talking about a player I need to find a way to get into this team, because I like to be dangerous from free kicks. And a guy who can do 16 free kicks, 16 long shots, that's a Championship James Ward-Prowse right there. Interesting. Some possibilities to think. He's transfer listed. I don't think he's going to be transfer listed for long once I'm done looking at this team, working out what our best tactic is. But he's had a career, and if he can score some free kicks for us, I fancy our chances. That said, he's not been prolific. He's only had 40 goals in 200 games across his career. For a guy with those free kick stats, should be higher. Interesting. Ryan Hedges, the transfer listed plays 34, but can play everywhere and is our best crosser according to the stats I was looking at. which is again interesting because he's playing off the right wing and doesn't have a right foot. I know it's a bit late in his career to be saying, hey, you get a better left foot, a better right foot, but something interesting there. And again, has some vision, has some passing, has some crossing. Interesting, he's not good as a winger, but we're going to work it out. And again, yeah, there's something interesting here with Ryan Hedges. As an experienced, he's not worth enough to sell necessarily. Lucas Diaz is apparently our second best goalkeeper. Hasn't played this season, hasn't ever played for the club. He was signed this summer, gone. And I can see why he's a backup, but I don't want a 33-year-old backup when I've got a 30-year-old number one. So I think, we'll tell it to work on his weaker foot, but I think he'll move on. He's not training well either. Igor Tijon, Tijon. He's got a weird name for no second nationality. He's quick though, and he's 22. His technicals are awful. His technicals are atrocious. I would be surprised if I didn't sell him. I don't think it's worth going much further looking at him. I will probably sell him because he's got nothing to offer. Kai Crampton, the guy I've managed, he's always available on a free transfer at the end of the first season. And he's a decent lower league keeper. He's not going to get better than a decent lower league keeper, but if there's money to be made from selling him on, maybe that happens. Max Davis is a 22-year-old centre-half. He's only 2-star rated with decent championship potential. Gotta be honest, he's quick, but he needs a loan before I'm going to do anything with him. We're going to do that as well, just to help out. We're going to get him training as a ball-playing defender, just to see if I can get any of these things to improve before we move on. But we are going to development list him because he's not going to play if I can help it. He's played 4 times this season, which is a sign that there's not enough depth defensively in this squad. I've got Lavro Majkic as apparently the Croatian backup goalkeeper. He's much better than the other guy. I don't know why you'd sign the other guy if you've got this guy in the squad. I'm assuming he was here first. Lavro Majkic. No, they've been signed at the same. Go figure. Again, wasted budget because what's that? 209k a year there, and the other fella on 100. That's 350,000, so maybe 360,000 pound a year you're wasting on goalkeepers who aren't good enough. Fun. Colin Busby, another centre half who almost certainly is a loan because that's not a player who's good enough to get in the team. If there's a player the team wants to buy or sell him, he's slightly better at the technicals, but he's nothing special, and he's got no pace, and he's 22, and he's been at the club for 7 years and not once played in the first team. Why is he still here? He's clearly not kicking on. If he's at 22 and not even made a sub appearance, he's never getting any better. Let's look at our development teams just to see what else is hiding before we look at everything. It's going to be a long episode. Paul Campbell, yes please, you can come to the first team. Let's have a look at him first, but with four potentially 5-star potential, he's made appearances for the first team. He is wanted by Boston. That guy's quick and he can dribble and he can cross. That guy's going in the first team. I absolutely will put that guy in the first team. He's got 2 feet. There's no good reason he shouldn't be in the first team squad. So that's a good start. But let's sort this by potential. Josh Johnson is a part Filipino winger / loan's probably the best place for him right now, but there's a player in there. We've seen a bunch of players today that he's not much worse than. And if we're going to develop young players, when's his loan running out? We're going to trigger that extension cord for a start off because that guy's going to develop well. His loan finished at the end of the season. Blythe might be a good place for him if he's playing. He's playing in the Panorama North, and yeah, okay, it's a good enough place for him to develop. We'll start with it. We'll have him there. Another Hayden. It's a terrible name. Don't ever name your kids Hayden. There's just not enough letters in there to make that work. He is a playmaker who can playmake. Yep, you're coming up into the first team squad. You can train with the seniors. That is a done deal. He's not going to play necessarily, and I might loan him out. There is some interest there, but I want to get him mentored. Has he got a second foot? He's got 2 good feet. He's going to be in there as well. Leif Bowie, with 4-star potential at the age of 21, isn't much worse than our apparent de facto second choice goalkeeper in the ratings. I think you're also coming up into the first team squad. We're going to make the executive decision. You're coming up into the first team squad as well. just so I can have it clear up, I've got this many 3-star and above youngsters in our under 21s. I don't need that many over 30 players. We'll have a look at Duncan Elliott. 16 for passing. You're spoiling me. I actually think that some of these players in this reserve team are better than our first team players. You're coming up as well. Sean Roberts, Welsh and Irish and a winger. Quick, crossing, dribbling. Needs to work on some stuff. You're coming up to the first team squad for now, but you're also going to go on loan because I want to get you mentored and I want to see what we can develop you into because that's crazy. Nikolai Rasmussen, a Dane, winger, quick, dribbling ability, not terrible crossing, and 21. Andrew Norshland, yeah, buddy, first team squad, but also development. That's a good sign for him. I love when you join a new club and you find little gems like this that could be special. Let's go back to 21s. Where are you? Come on. Why did we lose? I don't know what the ending's doing right now. What the game's doing right now. Let's get back to 21s. So we've found some good hidden gems here. Let's look at Jordan Harrington. A driven, 19 determination, great teamwork, already a good passer of the ball, good technique, good first touch, great fish. Oh, my boy. We're going to work on your quickness because that's money. That's money right there. We'll take control of your individual training. You can also go to the first team squad. Never fear, my friend Jordan Harrington. You are very much going to be in my plans for the near future. Joe John, good. 2 first names. No messing around. Again, winger, pace. This guy should be playing in League One already, frankly, and we're going to call him up. We will loan him out just because of the abundance of wingers, but he should be playing in League One already. There's no excuse for Joe John not to be playing in League One already, quite frankly. And if we were to go down, that would be what I was working on, would be having these guys genuinely being first team players. If it starts looking like we can't save the club, those guys are going to be in the team. He's decent, but he's being loaned out because he's not there yet. He might get there, but he's not there yet. So Kane Parisi can go on loan or just look to him for him. But let's get this right. Jordan Johnson, a winger and attacking midfielder with potential striking ability. Again, the mentals are there. Everything else is not. So we're going to loan him out as well because there's no good reason why we wouldn't loan him out. He has got some ability, good stuff. Callum Murphy has a high enough potential rating to get excited about. And yep, another one to go on the loan list. We'll get him out playing his trade somewhere because he could be a first team player for us. We'll take Hector Parkins, have a little look at him. A Jamaican under 20 international with room to grow. Yeah, he'll go on loan as well because he's not going to play this season. But we're seeing a lot of really good signs here. I'm really liking what we're seeing so far. Ryan Norwood, another high potential youngster. I mean, this guy's not far off being a League One player either, to be honest. So we're going to loan him out and see where he ends up because, yeah, not far off at all being a League One player for us. And let's carry this train going. We found some good bodies here. Logan Evans is all across the back. He's big. He's got pace, good balance, good jumping reach. We work on his heading. He'll be in the team long before that other fellow we looked at who's never played for the club. He's had 7 appearances so far already. It is just his heading letting him down in the centre half, and that's honestly quite easily fixed because we can go down here, we can click on aerial, we can take control of the individual training, pop it out on loan somewhere, and let him grow because that's a boy. That's a boy there that we can do good stuff with. Lyndon Edwards, another centre half, Partan Keegan. Again, no right foot, but I can see how he could become a championship player. We'll train his right foot, we'll send him out on loan, and I'm actually quite excited for this team. We've picked it up because yes, we've got a job on to keep them up, and the dynamics are going to be shot. We'll see in a second. The dynamics are going to be shot, I would guarantee it. Jake Everall, he spelled Jake wrong. Again, millennial parents, it's not okay. That could be Gen Z parents. It's still not okay. For a winger, there's something there, but again, he needs to go and play somewhere and show me he's better than that, because that's not going to work out. Dominic Asante, a Ghanaian winger, that's usually a safe bet. He's quick, good, loan him out, because he has got something to work with. All these players have apparently good or decent championship potential, which I like seeing. And striker, another championship potential player. His finishing for a striker is bobbins. Let's hope that no one's working on it. Okay, let's find shooting. You're going to get to learn how to finish. Take charge of that. Add to development. Boom, job done. George Simon, Roman Darkwa, a defender slash midfielder who, you know what, not the worst I've ever seen. We will loan him out, and we are also going to work on his pace, because that's the thing we're going to need from him. If he's going to pretend to be a defender or a midfielder, I need you to be quicker than that, so we're going to try and work on that with Roman Darkwa. Alan Martin, holding midfielder, who, yeah, we'll loan him out and see what he turns into, and again, we're going to work on that pace, because I want more of that in there. I know his strength. Why are you working on his strength? His strength's perfectly acceptable. Even for the Premier League, his strength would be acceptable. And Sammy Pigott, I feel like is about to go, based purely on ratings. And I'm looking at that and going, no. So you can be sold, and that'll free up some budget. We'll have a little quick check at the under 18s, just in case there's someone in there who should be called up to the first team. Jesus wept. Our youth team, actually not bad. I see whether I want to work with it. You, my friend, are going to get a whole bunch of pace training. Actually, we'll keep you on aerial for now. We're going to call you up into the first team squad as well and put you on the development list, but purely because I want to get you mentored. Honestly, Leighton Haywood as an attacking midfielder, low determination. He's not bad at all. I wouldn't be worried about putting him in the first team. We are going to call up the first team so I can mentor him again, purely because it's his mentors that need work. Sully Kilkenny, which is a very Irish name for a man who's not Irish. That's disgusting. That goalkeeping there already, if it wasn't for a couple of things in the mentals and the physicals, I'd put him in my first team. We're going to loan him out, give him a chance to develop. We're going to call him up to our senior squad. It will, of course, still play for the under 18s. I'll get all that set up, but we're spoiled. We're spoiled. Jordan Chaplow could play everywhere, and not terribly in any of them, really. We are going to check in on his development, see what he's currently working on. His strength, probably wise, but unless he's 3'4", which he's not going to play. Why would you play that guy in the centre half? He's probably a guy I would like to be training as a complete wing back, just based on what I'm seeing there. Obviously, his pace isn't there. But there's a guy I'd like to be training as a complete wing back. We'll get his pace up. He could be a weapon. Just looking at what I'm seeing there, could be a weapon and a wing back role. And we're not going to mentor him just yet. I think he's got a mercenary personality. Maybe we'll try and train that out in as well in the seniors. Jonathan Frost, a left winger. He's 16. He's unambitious and frankly isn't going to make it. Ollie Heath could be a similar boat, but he's got ambition. His mentals are great, but everything else is not there. I'm going to send him on loan. I just want to see what he does on a loan, because he's 18 already, so he's coming to the end of his youth contract, just to see what he can look like on a loan. Again, this fella Thomas Goff needs to go and have a loan somewhere and really show me some development, because at 18 he's again under his development. Martin Berg, much of a muchness. He's a winger that can't cross. We'll try him out outside the club just to see what he can do. It's going to be downhill from there. Sam Kennington, I can't loan him out, but he's going to have a development curve of epic proportions to get in the team. Steph Evans, a guy who's hit 18, hasn't got a full start, generally doesn't have much of a future for me. It's not a personality issue, it's a skill issue, so you can go on loan and try and find a new club. Leighton Younger, I'm spending so long on players here, has pace. Again, development list for him. I think actually all of these guys, looking at what we're seeing here, Why do I want a left wing back that can't do anything else for? Jesus, why? Why are you in the squad? We're going to try you out training as a complete wing back. I don't think it's going to make a jot of difference to a player like this. So we'll send him on loan as well. But yeah, players who come through as just wing backs are useless to me. You are, I can all tell from your star rating, not going to make it at this level. I mean, we'll let him see out his apprenticeship, but it's not going to happen. In Chris Hooper, no, that's a no. Okay, we've been for every player in the squad. We'll loan you out, Chris. We'll let you go at the end of the season. We'll loan you out just to give you a fighting chance of something. But okay, we've looked through the squad. We've seen what's happening there. Let's look at the dynamics. Oddly not shot. The atmosphere needs some work. There's no unhappy players. It's just relationships and personalities, and that will come with time. I'll actually do some training manually. I know, shock. I'll do some training manually because if I can fix this, that's 99% of the problem solved. To be honest, 99% of the problem solved because we get the players with team cohesion, the bonding all together. They'll be fine. They'll be absolutely fine. I will guarantee that. We are going to do a training, just get to make sure everyone's being mentored because we've just put all those kids up into the first team. One thing I like to do as well, one of those little pro tips I'll drop the last minutes, always have players who are fully fit on double intensity training. Always, every time. Don't care. That should be a no-brainer. Why are you all on normal intensity? I don't know if this works or not, but I'm going to try and set everyone to automatic intensity. It's worked. Beautiful. That's what I needed because I don't like it when these things are being done individually. And we'll get our coaches doing what they're strongest at. They're all on very heavy workloads. So I don't have enough coaches, which I can see I don't have enough coaches. Let's rearrange that just to lighten the load. That's much better. Good. That's one thing. We've got room for a bunch of coaches. 4 more coaches? Are you having a laugh? I will absolutely be fixing the staff. How does the rest of the staff look while I'm in here? We've got room for a loan manager, who doesn't even matter, and a couple of sports scientists. But this coaching staff can improve. I'm loving what I'm seeing here so far. We have made a good choice. I'm calling it now. We've made a good choice. Where else do we need to look in here? Let's get the squad plan out. I need to set the tactic. That's fine. I'll do that. As I said off camera, we will go into the camera as well, just to make sure we're making full advantage of this. That's where we're at now. We're going to get everyone together tomorrow for a team bonding session, because that's going to be important. And then we will, after our recovery session on Sunday, we'll go and see some community people. Go see some kiddies in the local hospital, just to get these sort of dynamics back to where they should be. Med Centre, anything problematic here? We've got these players missing. Nothing tragic. The broken toe for Joe Rankin Costello is an issue, but aside from that, there's nothing there I'm going to cry over, I don't think. Schedule-wise, this is how their season's gone so far, and it's been 3 league wins in, we'll let the table do the math for us, 14 games. That's not good enough. While we're here, this is the league table. As we can see, we are sat behind Bolton, who I would class as a local rival. But one thing, let's go into the bigger picture here. We have scored 13, conceded 21. That's already not good enough with the form. If we look at the XG table, we should be 10th. We're 23rd and we should be 10th. Like, this team's massively under, especially when you consider that Salford are in 8th and they should be 22nd. Preston are in 4th and should be 21st. And Sunderland are in 3rd and should be 18th. Why? We have scored 4 less goals than we should have done. We've conceded 4 more than we should have done, and we've got 8 points less than we should have. Survival should be guaranteed at this stage. I don't know how we're doing in competitions. We are still in the FA Cup, not technically the Carabao Cup. Who do we have in the FA Cup? Because we're entering the 3rd round. It's not been drawn yet because it's the 2nd round. I know what I'm doing. I've been here before. Who are we playing next? We've got QPR up next away. That'll be the first game we play with the teams. That'll be the episode after this. But so far, I think we've been very satisfied with what we're seeing here. as I said, budget-wise, there's nothing to play with. We've got to lose 8 million off the wage budget. There is some sell-ons here. Do any of the sell-ons look worth taking? We get 13,000 there. I'm not going to cry about that. There's £6 million sat right there. Unless he's wanted by another club right now, that solves problems almost immediately. But you've got to feel like this. Is he playing internationally at 21? He's already an England international. He's not going to stay at West Ham forever because they're probably not doing top of the league stuff. They're eighth. He's going to join a big four club. We are not going to cash that in just yet because that is, what, 20% was that? 20% of what could potentially be 50 plus million. Not worth selling that just yet. There's only 9,000 there from Queen's Park. There's only 33. So we're not going to worry too much there. We're going to know we've got 80 Bowden in the pocket who will be sold on at some stage in the very near future. And it's pure money. Quite frankly, he's just money invested. Talking of money, let's look at the finances. With 4.7 million debt, I am going to have to sell players. But there's, I think, enough deadwood in the squad, and that situation only getting worse. It's going to be 30 million the whole way into this season. I'm 72 by the end of next season. Okay, I see the project. What's looking like loans-wise? That's not the worst I've seen. Yeah, so from where we are, just judging what we've seen so far, I think priority number one is going to be to build a tactic that can get these things together and work on the dynamics. Priority number two is going to be to fix this mess because we shouldn't be losing 35.5 million a year. That shouldn't. What are we spending? What are we overspending wage wise on? Our top what? Let's count the players. Our top 11 earners. Remember, our top 11 players aren't really a cohesive first team. Our top 11 earners are closer to a cohesive first team, but that's give or take 25 million there that some of it isn't playing. I don't know how you justify being that far in the hole. Someone's going to leave. At least one player will leave in January just so I can balance the books. And we've got a lot of work on, but we've got a team here that I think I can very safely say, once I've done working some little magic under the hood, is going to be just fine. So, I know this episode's long, it's probably 40 odd minutes, I'm very sorry. But I'll wrap things up now. Thank you for watching, guys. I have been chasing Amy. Thank you for staying with us on the journey. If you're new around here because you've seen our Blackburn tag and you've decided to join us, thank you for being here. If you're a Blackburn fan, I promise I'll do you proud. I might even stay long enough to win us a league title because it's doable. It's doable. Not this season, but it's doable. And, maybe we can restore Blackburn some glory and build our reputation that way. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. How has always been chasing Laney. Do like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave comments down below, all that good stuff if you haven't already. And until next time, thank you for watching. Stay safe and have a good one.